Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I've got a couple of beauties here with me for a quick comparison video. But hey, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this kind of beauties. So let's see what we have here. We have a couple of Shirogorov knives in the house. This is the Shirogorov Quantum and this is the F95 Slim Nudist. Two different knives, of course. This is like the newest kid on the block, and this is like the classic F95, of course, that you probably know very, very well. Very similar, but also very, very different indeed, because, I mean, this is the Quantum. So completely different blade shape, milling, everything. This is a 3D milled set of scales in this beautifully done titanium frame lock, and you have milling lines which are crazy. It's chamfered, it's not flat, it's 3D, it's gorgeous. Honestly, it's fantastic. This guy has a backspacer, this guy has standoffs. So, like, I mean, they're both titanium frame locks, okay? They have both milling lines, but this is like on a flat slab, and this is like on a curved slab. So there's some curvature, you see, like that. Whereas here is just like flat. So you have some chamfering, of course, going on the edges, like here. You have some internal chamfering. Everything is chamfered here. Here also as well, but to a less degree. So very, very different approaches. For example, if you check flipper tab, very, very different. See? This guy is set up for like a push button like that and light switch. This guy is mostly light switch. You can still do like a push button like that, of course, but you're gonna have to deal with this pointy tip right there, whereas here is just rounded off, perfect for push button as well. Also, like for example, like in the closed position, you're gonna notice another difference, which is the screws. So oversized pivot screws, and the F95 has a bigger handle screw, if you can see. So this guy is gonna need a different tool bit to be disassembled compared to this guy. So keep that in mind. If you turn the knife and see the back, of course you're gonna notice that the Quantum is sporting a 3D milled titanium backspacer with integrated lanyard hole, whereas the F95 Nudist is just providing a lanyard hole because it has been drilled on the scale, and there's just a standoff as opposed to the like looks like it's a floating backspacer, but it's not. It's just beautifully done. Easier, of course, to set a lanyard on this one than on this guy, because you can see it's like almost completely invisible. It's recessed, it's super sleek, it's designed like crazy, but it's less practical. The pocket clip, it's another big difference. You see the Quantum has a hidden screw, whereas the F95 has a visible screw, but the point of contact, maybe you can see like that. You see, it's a little bit smaller for the Quantum, and also the Quantum has this indentation over here, whereas the F95 doesn't. So F95 has, as you can see right here, the lock release relief is internal. On the Quantum is external, and so that you can take advantage of that just by snagging the edge of the fabric of your pants or whatever you're gonna use the pocket clip with right underneath that. But this is gonna be touching not the lock bar but this side, so it's beautifully designed. This is very clever design, fantastic clip retention. This is one of the best clip design in my opinion. Really effective, really cool looking, fantastic design. They have the same approach in stainless steel lock face insert, as you can see right there. They have, we said, a very different clip. If you check the blade, it's also very different because the finish, it's a little bit finer medium used for the quantum, I'd say. The jimping is very similar. The extension is pretty much the same. Of course, the quantum has a thicker blade stock, but this is a slim version. So if you check just the F95 regular, not slim, it's going to have the same stock thickness of the quantum. Quantum has a Persian style blade, and this is just like a classic drop point blade. They're both full flat grind. This guy has like some kind of fuller done here. Of course, steels are going to be different, M390 and Vanax 37. So I mean, that's just like this example here, but of course you can get like F95 R slim in M390 as well, so don't worry about that. You can also find M390. This is just an older one, but the blade, you're gonna have pretty much 100% belly in the quantum, and you're gonna have maybe 30% belly in the F95 nudist. Of course, you have a little bit of swedge going on over here, and then just nothing. Here you have some chamfering going on, not like really swedge, but up to this point. And then it's just straight, like to the point. And look at this beautiful belly. Plunge grind is the same. You have a thickness that is a little bit, maybe you can see like here. You can see that the quantum overall is a little bit thicker than the F95. The sound, that's the F95, and that's the quantum. When you close the quantum, and when you close the F95, that's very different. The deployment sound is not that different. Again, F95 and quantum, but the closing is a little bit more different. Also, another thing that I want to point out is the ergos that are pretty fantastic in both cases. They feel really good in the hand. You can squeeze them, and you know you're not gonna have any hot spots whatsoever. I just want to use just to look at the. Look at this. Look at this detail over here. Like the level of machining that went through to do this area. It's just fantastic. So they both can be easily disengaged like that. So there's enough clearance right there, but there's a big but. So something that I'm not, like, I would say my only pet peeve of the quantum is this. All right. So that's a big difference. So the detent ball on the lock bar gets in touch with the tang of the blade at this point with this kind of angle. And by the way, the quantum has a detent ball ramp. The F95 doesn't. But the F95 has the detent ball which enters in contact with the tang of the blade at this angle. So that's a pretty big different angle, which means that the closing action is going to be much different. So in this case, as if you disengage the knife like this, okay, and you stop the blade from closing with your thumb because it's going to hit the flipper tab, then you just can do this. If you do the same thing with the quantum, you just stop the blade like that. See? It doesn't go anywhere because this is the point. So like your finger is like this, let's say. So it stops here, the flipper tab, the blade from closing. Then you have to remove your finger and then do the drop shut action, but it's not going to happen. You have to wiggle it and overcome the detent ball ramp to do that. Or you just do like that, you wait, and then you can do it. So it's it has a steeper learning curve on fidgetability for the closing action. I mean, it's still doable. You can still like do like that. You see, guys. I mean, if you get used, no biggie. You can still do it. But this, it doesn't even need that. You can still do this, and of course, you can just close it like that. I mean, it's hard to do under the cameras, but you get the idea. The angle is steeper for this one, and therefore the closing action is going to be a little bit different. And let's check out the weight, because that's probably the last difference that I noticed on these two guys. And of course, I mean, the price is going to be different because this is $1,100 and this is discontinued, but the new version is the same price. So this is going to be different because you can't really buy this new. 4.3 ounces for the F95 Nudist and 4.64 ounces for the Quantum. So there's more material going on in this one. And let's just check the F95R Slim, just look at that, 4.45. So it's still lighter than the Quantum, and I mean, but doesn't mean that one is better than the other. They're different knives. Both are fantastic knives. They are both running on multi-row bearings, ceramic cage, not caged, I mean free, uncaged bearing. There's a cage, but they're gonna go all over the place. When you disassemble these guys, they're gonna both need proprietary tools to get disassembled and maintained, but I mean, you can't really go wrong. These are two classic knives. This is the Quantum, this is the F95. I mean, two classic evergreen from Shirogorov, which I really appreciate, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.